Hey everybody, welcome to Between the Lions, a bi-weekly bite-sized oral history of the ongoing mission by the musical collective known as My Soul Among Lions to put all 150 Psalms from the Bible to music. As always, I'm Nathan, that's Jake, that's Phil. Hi guys.
Hey.
Let's talk about Psalm 34. We've been going through these things chronologically in the order in which they were, well, not quite in the order in which they were written, in the order, the release order, going through the Psalms, 1 followed by 2, followed by 3, that sort of thing. I think the folks understand what I'm saying. But we did say when we released new stuff, we would talk about it, and this would be your podcast destination to hear about everything new that was going on with My Soul Among Lions. So, for the last couple of months, we've released 2 different songs, actually, although they go together. We'll talk about that, based on Psalm 34, written by Phil Moyer.
Which is where we're up to in our psalm settings now. So there are other psalm settings and songs that you can have access to that aren't available as an album or on Spotify yet, but you can go listen to some of that other stuff on Patreon or warrenmedia.com and
patreon.com/MSAL.
Yeah, be the very first to hear new things from My Soul Among Lions.
We definitely encourage you to do that.
Yeah, please.
I think what we're talking about today has been up there for a couple months now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right?
That's right.
So, yeah.
You could have been listening to it all along, but you didn't. That's on you. That's on you. But you don't have to make that mistake again, folks. But to whet your appetite, let's talk about this.
Well, yeah, this is a beloved psalm to many. We were just talking about how there are high expectations maybe that I wasn't all that aware of.
Didn't know what you were walking into.
There are lots of people have their favorite psalm or whatever.
Yeah.
And then there are those psalms that are like Psalm 23 or Psalm 1
Right.
or Psalm 63, Psalm 51 or whatever it is that everybody knows that one or they know that one line from that one psalm and you better get it right. You know, we'll talk about this hitting this buzzsaw when we get to Psalm 20.
Yeah.
With some trust in chariots and some trust in horses. But the buzzsaw of people's expectations for psalms can be pretty
well,
intense.
It's like, if you're going to do Psalm 23, it better be your Hey Jude. It better be your Stairway to Heaven. It's Psalm 23. And how you can't meet that.
You can't live up to it,
nothing's
right?
going to live up to that expectation. It could actually be your Stairway to Heaven, and it still wouldn't feel like your Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah, Psalm 34 is one of those psalms that people have.
But
I'm glad to not have known about it.
Yeah, I was going to say, it kind of snuck up on us because it's not like a Psalm 23. It's got a few pretty famous lines. Taste and see that the Lord is good, I think, is maybe the
main one. Yeah.
The main one. And then maybe the Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. You'll see those lines on calendars and things like that.
Exactly.
But it wasn't one that you were approaching as if it was this great thing with a bunch of weighted expectations.
I mean, really, obviously, we were going to approach it anyway.
Right.
But I took particular interest in it when my wife told me that it was meaningful to her. And I was like, oh, well, why? And she's like, well, we had lost our 5th child. We have 4 kids. When Amy was pregnant with our 5th, about 19 weeks, we lost our baby. And she had to go into the hospital and deliver, which is awful, terrible. Our friend and elder, Brian Bailey, he came in the morning, unexpected, came into the hospital room right before work, and he read that scripture to us. And that imprinted on my wife's mind forever. Like that is her beloved psalm. And so I didn't know that until, well, it's 2020 now. I didn't know that till early 2019. And so I'm like, I have to set this one. I want to do this one. So got to work on it and decided to actually split it in half. There's a clear break. And actually in many psalters, they'll put these kinds of breaks in.
Oh, sure,
First 10 verses and then do the rest as a second part. And so I had this idea that maybe there was a way to write 2 songs and then combine them, like a nice segue.
Yeah, we could do 34A in worship. We could do 34B in worship. We could do 34A and B
like,
together.
yeah, if we wanted to do 2 songs together, we just flow right into it.
Right.
Have them in some way contrast enough that they're distinct and it doesn't feel like one tremendously long song. And so that was the goal. I think somehow that was more or less achieved. I'm happy with it.
Sometimes the psalms themselves actually do that sort of thing where a lot of people will argue that Psalm 42 and 43 are actually one psalm.
Right.
But they're 2 parts to the same psalm.
Yeah, in this particular one, begins really just a praise to God, In whatever the circumstance is, I'm always going to bless the Lord. And that's part of the reason it was so meaningful to my wife. It's teaching her, like, yeah, even in those dark, terrible circumstances, I'm still going to bless the Lord because he's so good to me. I don't lack for anything. But then the latter part from verses 11 on, it's like wisdom literature. It's like, come.
This is what I've learned.
Listen to me. I'm going to teach you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It made sense to put the break there.
I remember you having finished 34A and having a lot of ideas about 34B and spending a lot of time trying to figure out how to make it work and being discouraged and disappointed and not finding the thing.
It's true. Yeah.
That was actually going to pull it all together the way that you had hoped.
I'd never really felt like I came to that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I am happy with it now. I'm happy with how it turned out that Tracy Smith would sing on it. And
we need to talk about
just
that.
adding her to that, her debut and just how it all came together. I am happy about. But when it was alone and just me and the guitar and my voice, I wasn't digging it a whole lot. I thought it was, this is good, but...
Gets the job done, but...
Yeah, not maybe as well as I had hoped or dreamed.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But it was actually really sweet when I released a video on Patreon of just a demo of just, hey guys, here's me with a new song. I want to share it with you. It was so sweet. I got this email from Tracy. It was her singing harmony along to the video. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Like, she took an interest. She liked the song enough. And she was really just asking me what I thought about the harmony. Did she do okay? Like, what did I think of the part? And I was like, perfect, It's like, that's great. That's so sweet. Wonderful. Hey, how about you sing this?
Yeah.
Neat how that all came about.
What do you remember about composing the first part, the 34A?
With all composing, you run through a lot of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
In my creative process, I pretty much have a journal, but it's a audio journal. It's on my phone. I wouldn't want anyone to access it and to start going through. Sometimes Amy's like, what are you listening to? I mean, sometimes it'll be like 3 a.m. I'll wake up, and I had this idea and I just want to put it down. So here I am next to my bed and just humming this little tune into the microphone.
That's funny.
That's how I work. Sometimes ideas come to you and you don't want to lose them. Or you might be in the car driving and you just kind of hum something out. It's like, oh, I really like that. And I've had many times where that ended up being the thing, the key thing I needed in a song. I know I ran through a lot of ideas of trying different things, and same with part B. And I don't know, you just keep working, keep refining until you get it the way you think it's nice and enjoyable.
For part A, were you thinking in reference, because you wrote a pretty beloved in our church version of Mary's Magnificat, which contains the line, "Oh, magnify the Lord with me."
Yeah.
She was probably drawing on this psalm, which contains the line, "Oh, magnify the Lord." When she did that, were you bouncing those things off of each other in your head at all? Did you want them to stand in contrast with each other or in reference to each other? Did you want them to stand in conversation with each other?
Yeah, they're definitely connected scripturally. And I felt that it was okay if they were somewhat connected musically. Mm-hmm. I think you would hear some similarities. I think they're both in the same key in C. You have a similar title, right? You have Magnify the Lord as Mary's song, and this is Oh, Magnify the Lord. The choruses have some similarities. Their repetitive nature and even the words that they're reciting.
This one is, "Oh, magnify the Lord with me." And the other one is,
"Oh, magnify.
Yeah.
Oh, magnify." So, yeah, they're definitely similar. I wasn't afraid to have them be similar, although I didn't want to be that person who is a one-hit wonder and who can only
repeat there.
Yeah. So I did want them to be different enough. Not a lot of text in the chorus, just to magnify the Lord.
So you're giving yourself permission to let them be the same if they wanted to be, but you weren't going out of your way to...
No, I wasn't really...
construct your Magnificat opus.
Exactly.
Anything else about part B that was, like you said, you just spent a lot of time trying to...
Just spent a lot of time with the melody and even the key relationships. The one song's in C. I thought, hey, I'll try going into F. Part of the reason I got this idea was one time at youth group, we're doing Psalm 9, Zion's Daughter, right? We went into Rock of Ages And I just loved, they're in different keys, but I loved how they went together. And then I thought, this might be a way to get the Psalms to work, different parts working together, but be different. And so I was working on the key relationship. And I think one of the reasons I was unhappy was because I had them both in C. But I was really trying to get it to F.
Right.
But it worked. It's fine. It's good. I like it.
Yeah, I do too. And we sang this one in worship not too terribly long ago.
Yeah, the first part.
With
Daisy.
People dig it. It works. It's great. Well, anything else to say about Psalm 34?
What do you think about the style and how that relates? I am curious because it's different, right?
You mean of the two parts, or?
No, the relationship of the style of this psalm to the other My Soul Among Lions songs.
Oh.
This is drawing on some synth,
Yeah, it's more in the flavor of some of the directions the precursor to My Soul Among Lions had been going in.
Right.
Than My Soul Among Lions. My whole philosophy on all of these songs is let's abandon the idea altogether of having some kind of cohesive style. Let's make songs that we love and let's experiment. And if there's songs that we love and are excited about, that's what's important. That's what communicates and translates to other people. And other people can riff and change the style they present the song in. But let's keep it interesting.
Yeah. I think the first CD I ever bought was the Jurassic Park soundtrack, which is silly. But
really?
the second CD I ever bought was the greatest hits of the Beach Boys, which was a CD that a lot of people had back in those days. And I remember listening to that and being like, oh, well, this is actually a lot of Beach Boys to hear all at once. And then the third CD I bought, and probably nostalgically my favorite album of all time, is Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. That eclecticism of the Beatles in that period, and, Sgt. Pepper's On, and Rubber Soul, I guess, but especially Sgt. Pepper's On, where 1 minute they'll be doing a big band song, and the next it'll be all strings, and she's leaving home, and then it'll be some psychedelic jam. And
Here's
then
the sitar.
Yeah, and then George's stupid sitar song, like, oh darn, the batteries in my thing are done. I have to get up and change it. Although I actually like the sitar songs now, but I didn't when I was a kid. So that to me is music. Like the Beatles, especially Sgt. Pepper's and Abbey Road and the White Album, imprinted on me so deeply at such a formative age that I want that kind of eclecticism. If I just listen to an album that's all the same kind of folk or all the same kind of this, I get tired of it. So for me, it's always been the more eclectic, the better. Let it be what it wants to be.
Let it be.
Let it be. Yeah.
Let it be.
Hashtag let it be. I know that's simplistic. I know that albums do have to hang together. And I know the Beatles were doing all kinds of things to make their albums hang together that might not even be noticeable to me. But I'm glad we do folk songs, but I always like it when we can bring a little synth into it. I also just like synth in general. So.
Yeah. And we talked about this before, about Song of Moses. I really like where that came to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in some ways, I have that in my mind. The style of it, the instrumentation used.
Yeah.
I think this is a more beefed up
yes.
version of that.
Let's give it a listen, folks. We're going to listen to both parts put together the way Phil intended. See how you like the change from C to F here, folks.
No, it's not.
Oh, no, it's not. I'm sorry.
The absence of the change.
Yeah. See how you like the absence. Do you think you should have gone to F? You give it a listen. You'll see. No pun intended.
At all times I will bless the Lord and ever praise Him with my voice. My soul will make its boast in God. The humble hear it and rejoice. I sought the Lord in darkest night. He saved me by His glorious might. Oh, look upon His holy face and let your gloom be turned to light. Oh, lift your voices, praise His name. The mighty God has power to save. Oh, magnify the Lord with me. Let us exalt His name together. Oh, magnify Taste and see that God is good. May every blessing come to you. How wonderful, how precious is His grace. Though lions lack for want of food, the Lord will give you all that's good. For those who fear His holy name, every blessing they will claim. Oh, magnify the Lord with me. Let us exalt His name together. Oh, magnify the Lord. Oh, magnify the Lord with me. Oh, magnify the Lord with me. Let us exalt His name together. Oh, magnify the Lord. Oh, magnify the Lord with me. Oh, magnify the Lord with me. Let us exalt His name forever. Oh, magnify the Lord. Oh, magnify the Lord with me. Listen, children, hear my voice. I will teach you holy fear. Let your soul in God rejoice. Take these words and hold them dear. May your tongue from evil flee, and your lips not speak deceit. Turn away from wicked deeds. Walk the path that leads to peace. With the righteous God abides, and He hears their mournful cries. All their troubles shall be gone, and their sorrows turn to song. God is near the brokenhearted. How He loves and tends His own. I am saved, I am redeemed, I am His and His alone.
Taste and see, oh taste and see, forever faithful He will be. Not a bone of mine will break, and my soul He'll not forsake.
What should be my cause to fear? For my God is ever near. Evil men shall not prevail, for my God will never fail. Hallelujah, praise the Savior. How He loves and tends His own. I am saved, I am redeemed, I am His and His alone. God is near the brokenhearted. How He loves and tends His own. I am saved, I am redeemed, I am His and His alone.
hey, if you like this song and you want to buy it, you can buy it on iTunes or Amazon or Bandcamp. You can go right now and listen to it on Spotify or Apple Music. If you want charts, lead sheets, it's all available for free at clearnotesongbook.com. And if you want to support this work and get access to great new content as we write and produce new songs, go to patreon.com/MSAL, where you can sign up for as little as a cup of coffee a month.